So the whole trick to getting your bike chain and cogs all working proper is to make sure your derailleur is set all the way back by loosening this, loosening that off, that screw, not too much, don't want it to fall out, and then you want to make sure that that your cable is loose too, and you want to make sure that these are adjusted so that, because this one's going to adjust it, in or out, that bottom one there. You want it to be in line with your cogs, and you don't want worn out cogs like the third one in skips, right? It doesn't look too bad, but she skips, so you gotta watch out. You gotta replace your cogs or replace the cassettes. You might get away with cheap ones, you might get away with high quality ones, but the trick is here to set your chain. So you want to make sure that that's all sitting back as far as it can. Then you wrap your chain around. You're going to need 2 chains with these electric bikes. You get yourself one of these tools. You don't need one. You can use baling wire. You can twist the baling wire, and you can twist, and then it'll just pop those loose, right? And but this makes it a lot easier. So you get this little bar here and this little tool for like $4, straight from China on the Amazon there. So then once you got that done, like you gotta, you can put your chain together, right? Or I haven't even hit the master link yet. I don't know if it's easier, but I've never done it this way. I just do it the other way, I guess. I just bought this tool, cheap. Should make my life a little easier somehow. But once you got your chain length, right? So something. Wow, what a pain. Oh, that's good for. Okay, well, it's okay though. You want to make sure that your derailleur has that. I mean, you don't have to have tension, because you can always adjust the tension with that screw there, right there. It'll bring your derailleur back. But get as close as you can to where you have tension on the chain. Just some, right? Okay, so that's tension. I mean, my derailleur's as far back that screw's all the way out. It's not putting any tension on that chain whatsoever. So it seems to work. This is a 10-speed chain, so they're thicker and it's cheap. A pin already came out on me, and I had to hammer the pin back in. I think I did a better job than the machine did, or whatever made the chain. That's what you do. You just wrap your chain around. You get it in the highest gear, and then you wrap your chain around, and that's how you measure your chain. Don't listen to anything else. That's how it's done. So for an electric bike, I guess, I don't know. And 10-speed cogs, they're farther apart for the thicker chain, but it seems to still work pretty good. It's like it doesn't shift as good though, gotta watch out for that. But you can get cheap parts and you can make it work, and you just gotta make sure your chain length is good and that your cogs aren't worn out. So out all the struggles of me trying to figure out my chain length, I wore out quite a few cogs on the high side. So on the smaller cogs, kind of wore them out a bit, and then so yeah, you just make sure your derailleur is all the way back, and that your wire's loose, and that your derailleur's not too far in, because you want everything to, once everything's loose, your derailleur wants to just naturally spring this way outwards, and then you want to set everything to your first cog, right? And then you want to set your chain to your first cog, for the length, and then you can rebuild your bike. And this is actually getting super cheap for me, because this bike is actually, I'm maintaining the bike myself. I don't have to pay somebody else to do it, and it's unreal. It's actually unreal how cheap this is to maintain and ride if you know how to work on it yourself. So you can redo your bearings, and These pivot bearings actually are doing really good. They haven't worn out yet. That front bolt came loose on me, but that's okay. Tighten it up. I have the brakes. I don't know how the brakes are. They haven't worn out yet, but I owned it for 5 months out there since November, and it's now April, so November, December, January, February, March. Yeah, probably it was the end of November anyways. So there it is, all rebuilt. Works good. I just need to, I'm gonna throw on the, what I'm gonna do is, all these sprockets are individual, unlike that 13 or the 11 speed. So this 10 speed here, I can drill these rivets out, and I can use that small gear. That's the one that's also giving me issues. I can use all these gears, all of them. So, and I can space them out. I can use 11 speed spacers, like, you know, the spacers off my 11 speed. Or buy some, you know, metal ones or whatever, because these are just plastic that break. And you can just use the cogs from the 10 speed, it's cheap. And you can steal all these pieces and just slap it together and just ripping it up all over again. So if I explain the master links, I use this is 2 chains and 2 chains, 2 master links, and then I took the whole 1 chain and I master linked it to a chunk of the other chain. I had to pound out one of the pins, whatever, and then I used 2 master links to put it back together and got the right size chain length. So using 2 chains. I still have part of the other chain somewhere, or of the new chain, so I got lots of spare chain and lots of spare links. And oh, but remember, you always want to change your chain. You can get a chain measuring tool or whatever, and you can check the length of your chain between the links, and if it's worn out past a certain degree, you're better off replacing your chain sooner, because it'll make the cogs last longer, a lot longer, and it's all around just way more financially better for you. So yeah, there's my little video. So I hope you guys like it. Hope you learned something.